Scanning for audio.
Welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. You know, you hang around for ages waiting for Louise Jameson's story to come along, and then two come along almost in the space of a week. February 2020 brings with it Gallifrey Time War Volume 3. Now, this one's stories starts with Narvin and Romana being, well, let's read from the description. Romana and Narvin are exiles driven from Gallifrey by Rassilon's regime and cut adrift among the horrors of the Time War. Their one remaining hope is that they can find their friend, Leela, who is also lost in the maelstrom of battle. But she is fighting to survive. Now, as you know, just said, huge fan of Leela as a character and Louise Jameson's acting in general. Massive fan of Gallifrey. Yes, I remember those days at Doctor Who conventions where someone went, no, let's not have a Gallifrey audio. It would just be a lot of people with big collars chatting to each other. Well, they were wrong. I know they were, because that was just exactly what I wanted. And when that kind of Blade Runner-esque theme music just waves across, you know you're hoping. Now, I listened to this on my birthday, which, of course, at work, they enforce you to have a holiday. So obviously what I did was wallpaper. So I got to concentrate on this and making the edges of certain patterns match and meet up. I'd like to think that my pattern matching was as good as the storytelling that took place here. Story 1, so it's 3.1, Hostiles, David Llewellyn. Exiled from Gallifrey, Romana and Narvin are fleeing from their own people and the Time War, seeking refuge on a derelict wreck. They find themselves are not alone and that Time Lords have enemies everywhere. This is one of those stories where you can't really say too much about what's going on. Massive, spooky spaceship, things happening, monsters in corridors. It's classic Who stuff. But of course you've got the whole Gallifrey Time War, well, collateral damage happening. And that's what this whole box set is truly about. It's all of the people who are affected by somebody else's war. Collateral damage and somebody else's war, of course, would make great storyline titles, but that's not important. What is important is that this storyline builds on what we've had before, but it gives us the whole more personal drama. And that is what it's at the core of this box set. It's considerably more emotional than the politics we've had in the past. Story number 2, 3.2, Nevernor by Lou Morgan. Narvin and Romana reach a distant rural world, but even here the Time War follows, and there are more things to fear in the Vortex than warships and weapons. The Orrovix have caught scent, and they're hunting. Think Chronivore, but panther-like. These are mythical Gallifreyan creatures, and yet, of course, as we know with all Gallifreyan myths, they're all real out there. You've got a great timey-wimey storyline, and you've got a lot of people suffering. Yes, there are some lovely lines about goats, but let's not say that this is a comedy. It's very dark, and it's all about how war affects everyone. But that brings us to story number 3, Mother Tongue, by Helen Goldwyn. Leela was thrown into a vortex, ravaged by the Time War, lost in space and time, but the Trell have shown her mercy. She finds herself in another realm, another life, one where the warrior is also a mother, where she must help her son to choose the path to avoid the world's destruction. To me, this is the highlight of the box set. Yes, there are brilliant performances throughout, and story number 4 is cracking. But this one's got the most heart. Leela develops and yet she remains the same, which is a trick I love when Big Finish pull off. You've got intelligent trees, you've got the sort of effects in your head that feel very much of their time, but you know that Leela has grown, has become better, and she's not just the warrior she once was, and yet she treats everyone with the same level of cunning, and it's just great. I could ramble for hours and probably will, but I'm not going to do it on your time. Story 3.4, Unity by David Llewellyn. On a dusty frontier world, destiny awaits Romana. Betrayal, deception, and death are the currency on Unity. And as the Daleks close on their target, there will be a price to pay. You know, I've always loved the Gallifrey stories. And the Time War has, yes, admittedly turned up and interfered with this sort of thing, overshadowing everything. And I have no idea how they're going to handle the new revelations on the TV series, or if even any of the characters have any idea how it could be at all. But I'm sure these things will be dealt with at some point in the future. Give it 5 or perhaps even 10 years. We can wait. But that will be fine. At the moment, you've just got some very scared characters desperately trying to survive. And there are some nice twists and takes on the characterization, which I, for one, adore. I don't want to give any more spoilers, but what I do want to say is here's the trailer, decide for yourself, and I'll speak to you very soon, probably about this, or more Doctor Who. Be seeing you.
From Big Finish Productions.
This is it. The end of the line. In orbit of a dying star, on the fringes of a dying galaxy.
Gallifrey, Time War 3.
Hands where I can see them.
What?
Who are you?
I'll ask the questions.
I'm Narvin.
And I'm Romana.
Of course you are.
The ghosts. Hungry, vicious. You've been to the place where they are. You reek of it. The longer we stay, the worse we make things. We have no choice but to leave.
Like Leela did?
Exactly. She was here, and she'd have understood what was necessary. She did understand.
We don't both need to die! Oh, don't be an idiot!
Listen to me. Climb up now.
Trauma is heir to the throne!
Do as I say. I am your mother. You will do as I say.
Alert! Identification confirmed!
You know these guys?
The female is a president of Gallifrey, an associate of the Doctor. She has encountered us many times.
I kind of guessed they were VIP.
Big Finish. We love stories.
Is this what life is going to be from now on? Nowhere to rest? Just constant running?
Hooverville has moved. The 24th of October 2020 brings with it the best little Doctor Who convention in the world. Tickets available from the Derby Quad website. Guests announcement soon. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Available on Spotify, iTunes, Acast, Stitcher, and wherever good podcasts are found. Get early access to content by subscribing to the Tin Dog Podcast YouTube channel. You can support the show at patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on Twitter at tindogpodcast or email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. All of the things discussed are the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.